Hello, hello. This is Kristina, your host today. And today is a new episode of KSM Podcast Growing Business Online with Kristina. And I'm so happy today that I have my special guest speaker, MonicaBadiu. Monica, welcome to the new episode of KSM Podcast.
Hello, Christina, and hello to your audience as well. Thank you for
Uh,
having me.
Thank you for joining me. And Monica, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit who you are, what you do, and where are you based?
So, I'm a digital marketing professional. I've been doing this since my early 20s. It's been more than 14 years now. I live in Romania. We're actually neighbors, which is
Yeah,
very
I'm in
cool.
Belgrade, Serbia.
It's a nice place. I've been there a few years ago. It's a nice place.
Thank
I'm a
you.
mom and I'm also an entrepreneur. So over the years, I kind of had to figure out how to use the resources I have to help me on a professional level as a marketer and as an entrepreneur as well. So I kind of zeroed in something that I love doing and I'm actually good at, which is sales copywriting.
Oh, that's lovely, And I'm in digital space for 14 years, and also well, we design websites and landing pages and other. And this is my coaching started 5 years ago. KSM Podcast Growing Business on sorry, KSM Brand Growing Business Online, podcasting, speaking, and coaching. So and almost this podcast is dedicated to business owners who wanted to spread the word about their business and who wanted to spread the word and wanted to work in international market. And also, Monica, what triggered you? What is your background actually, and what triggered you to start your own business journey?
When I finished high school, I said I'll do everything possible to not depend on somebody else's schedule. Like if I want to wake up at 10 a.m., I'm going to do that. So I'll build my life to have that kind of time flexibility. And early on, I kind of got introduced to the world of digital marketing by mistake, basically. Somebody hired me to write SEO content and that just opened like a whole new world of possibilities. And I tested stuff on my own blog, it worked. And just fast forward, I just got here. Over the years, my motivation changed. It's primarily about time flexibility, but it's also about what I can do for myself, my family, and even my clients. And I've shifted my audience to the point where I have a very specific niche. And that kind of combines with my personal mission, which is like I want to create positive change in the world. So entrepreneurship has allowed me to do that, even though it's very hard and sometimes annoying and exhausting. But I don't know, I would have a very hard time to go back at the 9 to 5 job because I've had 9 to 5 jobs and office jobs, but I don't think I would be thriving there, honestly, again.
Yeah, I understand you completely. And as you mentioned, we need freedom. And as a business owner, as I was many years in corporate, and also what I wanted to share here and ask my guest speakers is when you work for yourself, and especially when you're a mom, and and women entrepreneurs and men and whoever. But the point is, you like yourself and you wanted to work, and you wanted to work. Who do you want it to work? Not just to be and work under the pressure. In terms to you choose who you will want to work, and people just wanted to work with you because of your like and trust factor or whatever it may be. But it's sometimes it's so good fit to work for yourself, and this
Yeah.
is this is awesome. I love that.
Sometimes when I get overwhelmed, I just say, I'm just gonna go and get hired by somebody else and just do like the simplest job possible where I don't have to think. I just go, somebody says, this is what you have to do today. And I know I just sweep, I clean, whatever it would be, just so I don't have to, always kind of be on. Because even though it's awesome to be an entrepreneur, it's also a lot. And you mentioned like being a parent and running a business. I became a mom 4.5 years ago, and I had no idea just how difficult it is to do anything else in life while you are also like growing and educating a small person. So to all the entrepreneurs who also have families, I don't know how you do it with like more than one kid, but congratulations. I mean, you're doing something right.
Yeah, I met many amazing guest speakers. One lady, she has a six, the other one four, mother of four, mother of six. But in terms of building business and running business and, and managing and handling, I think that we need to, in terms to delegate someone, as you said, sometimes we cannot do alone. But the point is
Yes.
what the level business is and your income stream and everything to be prepared to pay that person, because this is also so important part of
This
this
is
journey.
this is something that I've done this year. So early this year, I hired someone to produce my own podcast, Master the Inbox, just because I had so much fear around recording myself, being on video, and kind of being in charge of like spreading the message versus showing up on somebody else's
And
podcast.
tell me, is that podcast with guest speakers or solo?
It's both. So I'm doing themes. So my second season goes out September 1st, and this one is going to be dedicated to Black Friday. And I have solo episodes, and I also have interviews with specialists, and they're sharing their own approach or case studies for Black Friday. So basically, if you're a course creator, or I know if you're interested in like how do I sell my digital product around Black Friday, then that specific season is going to be one of, I hope, most valuable online resources you can find, because it also has a roadmap. And in creating this seasonal, these seasons, and they're by theme, it's a lot easier for me to come up with ideas, to produce it, to syndicate the content properly. It's so much better that way because,
Congratulations for your podcast. I'm super
thank you.
happy with that. And whenever you want, we can share it about it, just you can share a link, or also we can put
Sure.
below this episode, and also you can share also your link to your website and how people can reach out to you. We're not still in ramping up the call, but by the way, just to, for our
It,
listeners, just to share it.
it's master the inbox, and it's primarily about email marketing and copywriting. And I hope it's valuable because I get a lot of imposter syndrome because there are so many people publishing content every single day, and sometimes it feels like you're drinking from a hose. And I have this kind of personal standard: is what I'm sending out there qualitative enough, valuable enough for someone to spend 5 seconds looking at this versus something else. So basically, how am I bringing value into the world? And this is very difficult because it feels like, everyone is trying to do the same.
And can you share with us about your digital product? And next question will be, who are mostly your clients? But this is, this is where when we wanted to encourage our listeners to start their own business journey, or just what are obstacles. And this is as a, podcast for about entrepreneurship and women entrepreneurship and men, so female and male. So, but people sometimes, maybe you can inspire some of one listener just to start something as you do, because you're a copywriter, and it's a popular job because of digital space, because of digital business and other things, websites,
Yeah.
landing pages, social media, etc.
So I've had multiple entrepreneurship endeavors until now. And in the meantime, I've also been doing digital marketing, but it was always for somebody else. And lately, I started to look at my time and my health and think about, okay, how am I investing that time? Because I'm not getting it back, right? And with a small kid, there's always uncertainty. So I actually need to be even more careful about how I invest my time and what it does to my health. So I decided to start creating digital products, to start building a personal brand as a copywriter, because that actually helps down the line. Either I want more clients, then I have an audience to whom I can say, hey, I have a new slot available, or hey, I'm launching a group coaching a program, which is actually what I'm doing right now for Black Friday. So all these approaches to using my experience in a way that doesn't necessarily request my time, demands my time as intensive as a client would. So basically what I'm trying to do right now is building a personal brand, visibility and authority for the future, right? Because in 5 years from now, I want to be in a completely different place from where I am right now. So that means I would love to speak on stages, but to be invited to those big conferences,
This
I
is my
actually,
this is my intention also, and I am also speaker, so I spoke on many summits, conferences, radio shows online. So this is the third
yeah,
part of my of my KSM growing business online, by the way, just
awesome.
to share with audience.
Yeah, so that's the idea. Build my online authority so that I can build an audience. Some of the people in that audience might be ideal clients, which would be thought leaders, course creators, authors who have some kind of course or program and they want to sell it with email marketing. That's where I step in. But a lot of that audience, they're beginners. They're people who are just thinking, okay, I have a course, I have some people. How do I use the tools I have available to enroll more people? And how do I do it in a way that feels good to me personally and is time effective and is cost effective? Because most of them can't hire someone to do it for them. So that's where I'm right now. I'm trying to educate, I'm trying to share some of my secrets. It's also establishing kind of expectations because you mentioned before copywriting is such an interesting job right now, but a lot of people don't understand what it takes to be an email copywriter versus a sales copywriter versus a content um, SEO copywriter versus writing ads, right? So these are different skills you need, and it takes time to get into a place where you feel confident about how you write and what you do for your clients. And yeah, I think AI has made this job a lot more popular than it should be, but it's setting a lot of people for failure because I've actually worked with copywriters who got assignments and used AI to write them, and
But I
the
think that AI
results,
could help you, but our
yeah,
brain is much more valued to go through it
yes.
like notes. Because I coach, I have some courses for SEO as well. And no, I'm not too much familiar with copywriting. I'm not too fond of to write copywriting, but I'm much more in terms of speaking than writing. But yeah, what you said. By the way, I wanted to say that AI is so popular, but also we need to go through it because I'm translator. I translated from Serbian to English and other for many years, and I know you need to proofread. And after
Yeah.
this is a part what I need in translating for websites because I do that for many years. Because we have many skills, by the way, but this is journey, And as you mentioned, and what is your experience with AI? And also the other question is we're in a similar job, but I always like to attract my competition, not that to become, no, we're not in competitors mode. Just by the way, I'm telling, when people write a post, and I was talking with many copywriters, how people can just count in and say, okay, I wanted to buy this. What is sometimes there are many copywriters, and what is that message when people create that? I think that people just don't need to immediately buy something because it's such a big offer in many posts on social media, especially, or
That's an interesting question, and it's not a simple answer. So
yeah, but what is your
people
experience with that? How do
I'm
you see
gonna
that those platforms by your site? Just
Okay,
for
so social media, converting from social media can be very difficult if you don't have a super loyal audience. Which, what I mean by that is high engagement, people comment, people share, people send you DMs. That's high engagement. And when you have an offer, let's say, hey, I'm opening a group coaching program, or hey, I'm launching a new collection, and you have that audience that is super engaged, and then they message you or they click the link in the bio to buy, if that audience is loyal, and then you've done a very good job of explaining why your product matters to them, what's the problem it solves, why they should get that now instead of 2 months later, why should they choose you instead of your competition, then yes, it's a good chance that it's going to convert. However, if you're going for an audience that is cold, they don't really know who you are, you don't have a lot of social proof to back up your claims, you don't know why and why they would want to work with you, why would they want your stuff? I mean, if you don't know that about your audience, then you're not going to see that much result with your social media posts. So it's not an easy answer. It's a similar approach to email marketing, which is what I do, and it's not cold email marketing. We're talking about email lists that are warmed up. It's an audience that knows who you are, what you do, why you do it. That's a very important thing. And you deliver massive value in between your sales pitches. So you're not going to sell every time, every day, every week. Maybe you're going to sell something once a month. But in the meantime, you don't just disappear. You show up every single day for them. You take them on a journey. You say every time you send an email, you demonstrate that you know what their problem is, how they're getting stuck. You help them get unstuck. So all those multiple touch points where you demonstrate you're a reliable partner in their journey helps you when you have a sales pitch. And same thing goes for social media, right? People don't like being sold to. If that's all you do on social media, I mean, you're not going to see very good results, even though you have like the best copy in the world, because your audience doesn't really understand why and they're not seeing any value.
in terms of let's say that this podcast KSM Growing Business Online, I went to one group for promoting podcast, and I saw a few people who I know there. They're also podcasters, and what happened? One guy, he put some posts, and I put my link, but the others. The next time I put on a main, like a feed in a group, because it's for free, and it's public group. Oh my God, it was like 50 people say to me, inbox me, DM me, DM me. It was like there are people from I saw, but I don't wanted to speak about now. And it was, oh my God, what moved me to to start enjoying this group? It's like spammy, And I was okay, and I don't post anymore because and I put why you wanted to DM you. Just you see my link. If you want something, put a comment, because and I saw there are people who promote you because they charge for that, but you can see that they have maybe 2 followers, or I don't wanted to mention the countries anyway, but it was like crazy, and I said, okay, I don't want it to post anymore, like
Yeah,
because you don't want it to buy for someone when you post in some DM you and say I can work for that. The point is to promote it organically, not just to
yeah.
someone come to me and say, okay, DM me, and then send me a messenger messages. And who would like something like that? I don't think so, because
That's the thing, because with that kind of approach, it's not about who likes it, it's about who's desperate enough to need it. And if you're doing it at the high volume, then maybe statistics say that at least one person out of 100 people you've messaged, they're going to reply back. What happens later, who knows? But that's kind of the idea. They're aiming for volume with the idea that out of 100 people, maybe their benchmarks say two
yeah.
people answer, one of them converts to something. So it's very like it's an approach that is used widely. I mean, on social media, we do
Yeah.
that as well.
And what we
Email
are talking
marketing.
now, it's very useful for listeners, just to
Yeah.
what we share here,
I
just
mean, there's there's value in doing cold outreach, but you don't have to be spammy. I get dozens of emails each week saying, "Hey, I love your blog. Hey, I love your YouTube channel. Do you want to work together?" And I'm like, "I don't know who you are. Start in a different place." And I've done cold outreach, but I haven't gone to the sales pitch first. I went and said, "Hey, I've been following you and getting your emails for 1 month, and I love them. I really love your brand. I took your course where I bought something from you." And that's not a lie. That's how I select my clients. If I read their stuff, take the course, and enjoy with the value they're offering and them as a human being and entrepreneur, and I would like to work with them, that's what I'm going to do. So I receive all those emails for 1 month and I analyze them. What could be improved? Where can I come in and say, "Hey, I think I can add more value to what you're offering." And what I do is I give all that free information, valuable information for free. If they test it and it works, a lot of them come back and they
yes,
say, "Hey, can we jump on a call?"
yeah.
And
And do
I
you
say,
have
"Yes."
something to share with our audience, maybe like a template on it, or some free gifts or free conversation, maybe to
Well,
reach
I
out to
have,
you if you I didn't ask you, but sometimes I ask it doesn't need, but just maybe something
well,
for email marketing or something like that. Maybe it's
I
going to
have
be helpful for
two
them to
I have two
connect with you.
resources. I have two resources right now. One is a list of 9 automations every course creator or person who's selling digital products needs. And those email automations do a lot of the heavy lifting on your end. It's like converting while you sleep, right? It's doing all the work for you. And another one is a list of 93 subject lines for your email promos. These are sales emails, and these are subject lines that I have used over the past 5 years for my own clients. So this one is more like an inspiration to get you an idea of what you can do with your sales emails instead of just saying, "Hey, this is on sale. Hey, get this discount. Hey, this discount expires tomorrow." And the link for that is monicabadiu.com/freebie. I assume Kristina is gonna put it in the
Yeah,
show.
we'll put all. And can you share with us your website or blog? Is that on MonicaBadiu.com? This
Yeah,
is all.
that's my
And
blog.
how listeners can reach out to you? How they can find you on
I
Instagram,
prefer
Facebook, LinkedIn,
Yes, they can find
all
me
three
on
platforms?
I prefer LinkedIn and Instagram. And if you search for my name, you should find me. I'm also on YouTube. I do a lot of tutorials and what I call like email teardowns. So this is basically where I go in my inbox and I find emails that make me think, "Oh my God, I would buy this." And then I go to YouTube, I record a video and I explain the tactics used in that email, because a lot of people, they don't understand what is a sales email that sells without selling.
That's fantastic. And Monica, who are your clients? Who do you mostly work with? And how
So,
do you resolve their problems? Maybe just maybe
ooh,
for, but
the
just
part,
in the intentional. This is so conversational part because people
yeah.
like to hear that, because
So
it's
I primarily work with course creators, people who have consultancy services or coaching programs. And I do two things for them. One of them is Done With You, where I basically coach and consult them through whatever is happening on their email marketing, or if they have something they want to launch, if they're struggling with, I don't know, figuring out who their audience is, I help them with that as well. The second part is Done For You, and that's where I write it for you or I do it for you. And a lot of the time I spend with the client, whether it's coaching or actual writing for them, is in really understanding their business, their audience, and how their offer solve specific problems for their audience. And I would actually say that that part is the most valuable thing I do for them, because the majority of people, they don't have the time to spend and research those specific elements of their business. So what they take from working with me once, they can use throughout their business. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah, so you work with consultants, coaches, agencies, and also maybe you can work with podcasters as well, because they need, when they need to launch.
I've coached podcasters who also had some kind of course or digital product. So I've like selling premium episodes, right? So I coached people there as well.
And so you coach them and you work for them instead of them. In terms to create copywriting or sell, both. And before we ramp up our call today, I feel such a good energy here, and you share such a good tips and and your story about what you do. I always ask I asked you many questions today, but what would be like a message for our listeners who are stuck with email marketing, or who wanted to start or run online business or offline business, any
It's always harder. It always seems harder than it actually is. And that fear is what keeps you stuck, because honestly, starting or growing a business is just a problem you have to solve, and there's more than one solution for that problem. You're not reinventing the wheel. It's just a matter of finding the system that works for you. And there are so many options to research that, to learn from others. So just remember, it always looks harder than it actually is.
Yeah, and I always remind and repeat that if we don't try, we have never know how it's going to be, because we learn from failures anyway. And
from experience, whether that's
yes.
of
But
success.
if we don't take action,
Yeah,
we didn't know how it's going to be. Because
yeah,
as you said, we can think about it, but if we don't feel it, if it's not in our hands to see
honestly,
how it works,
entrepreneurship isn't about you growing a business and selling it for $1 million. Entrepreneurship is honestly about exploiting the natural skills you already have, like curiosity, courage, wanting to do things maybe differently than everybody else. And in the process, you get to grow those skills. So even if your first business fails, that's fine. You still have the skills and the knowledge. You can start a second business.
You can improve other skills and research and try to experience them and see what works, what doesn't work.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that makes entrepreneurship sound a lot more exciting than it is, because it's not about the success or failure of your business, right? And we have so many people who are now billionaires, right? But they have failed so many times before they found the idea that worked.
And getting out of the ash and move.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is their experience, to challenge them, encourage them to be better persons and better professionals. Monica, it was lovely talking to you today. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. And I got email, I didn't know you, but we're finally here, as we were talking about cold emails. But it was like this, and we are here today. Thank you so much for your time and your energy, for sharing it. It was like such a kind of session, because I asked you some questions, which is so important for me and important for all audience. And I think that we will be together very soon again.
Awesome. Thank you, Kristina, for giving me the opportunity, and I enjoy this episode as well. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And I think that we, regards to your family, I wish all the best, blessings, and talk to you soon. Either that we are neighborhoods. I didn't know, but now I know that. Thank you so much. Bye for now.
Bye.